Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. The Telecaster Frankenstein modification shenanigans are complete. It's finished, it's all bolted together, it's all wired up and set up. Plays really well, it has to be said. It's done, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I've learned a few things along the way, so let's first of all take a look at what I've done to the guitar. Okay, let's begin with a little before and after shot where you can clearly see all of the modifications that have taken place. First of which was a new neck sporting 22 frets rather than the original 21. I just prefer 22 fret necks, that's all. In order to make the most of those 22 frets that I've now got available to me, I needed to just kind of dig out the cutaway a little bit, and you can see it's radiused a bit, and it is just that little bit more comfortable up at the dusty end of the frets now. Next up, we've got the fact that there is a neck P90 installed in place of the original kind of Telecaster lipstick tube pickup, and as you can see, this is by Wilkinson. At the bridge we have an iron gear steel twin Telecaster bridge pickup, and you can see that I've wired up the tone pot on the guitar as a push thing to give us a bit of a boost. Basically it switches in about another 7k's worth of windings on the coil and just makes it sound a bit meatier. You may recall from the wiring video that I was using I was going to use a mahogany control plate, but to be honest it was just turning into a bit of a symphony in brown. All you would have needed was a Moulinex slow cooker and a lava lamp. It would look like a typical 1970s kitchen. So I went with this engraved one instead, which I think looks quite fetching on the guitar. The guitar also sports a new nut. This is a bone nut which replaced the plastic one that came with the new neck, and if you look closely there you can see that I was a little bit over enthusiastic filing the third string slot, and it's got a bit of paper in there to kind of take up the slack. I'll probably do that fix, you know, with making a paste out of baking soda and super glue to fill that in and recut it at some point. Next up, we have to thank this TV show, Salvage Hunters, for part of how the body was finished. Basically, one of the restorer guys on this show was restoring, I think it was an old Victorian table or something, and he used this product to get the desired effect. And I thought, yeah, I'll try that on the guitar, and it worked a treat. The scratch plate, yes, now this is where it gets a little bit sticky. I was going to have a tortoiseshell scratch plate, but as you can see here from this cardboard template, I ended up having to make my own scratch plate. Basically the distance between where the bridge needs to sit in the scratch plate and where the control plate needs to sit in the scratch plate didn't match any scratch plate that I could seem to get my hands on. It was always overlapping one way or the other, so I made my own. It's a very simple process to do. You just make a template like this out of cardboard, and then get yourself just a picture frame like this. Obviously take that kind of hinged stand thing off the back, that just pulls off, and the little clips as well. Draw around your template, and then give it a good soaking in what's it called, that stuff that you put on shoes, Scotch Guard, to like protect suede shoes, because you know you don't want it to be necessarily completely waterproof where it's going to be submerged, because it never is going to be, but you do want it to be resistant to, you know, humidity and stuff, and that will suffice. Next up, I went onto eBay and bought myself a bunch of old vintage beer bottle labels, and got my wife to do a decoupage job where you just stick them down with PVA glue and varnish over the top, sand back, varnish over the top, sand back, etc, etc, until you've got a nice rigid finish. And there is the finished scratch plate, and you know what, I think it looks really rather nice. But then again, I have to say that because my wife did it. No, it genuinely does, I think. Anyway, there you go. That is a bit of a summary of what's gone on with this guitar. And there is one other thing that I should mention that I didn't mention in that clip. Basically, I forgot. I've actually built another feature into the guitar which very, very accurately tells you the time of day, which is a useful thing. You know, it's easy to lose track of time when you're playing any musical instrument, guitar especially. So, you know, if you want to know what time of day it is, this guitar will tell you. I'll show you more of that feature at the end of the video. I have learned some lessons from the process. This is the first time I've refinished a guitar. It won't be the last. I have refinished bits and pieces of furniture in the past. And the main thing, I guess, that I've learned is that Ronseal brush-on liquid wax is absolutely perfect for finishing tables and shelves and bookcases where they're just basically flat surfaces bolted together. You do one side of it, you let it dry, and then you turn it over and you do the other side, and so on. A guitar where there are sort of curves and radiused edges and contours and stuff, you're going to get runs, and I did get runs. So it was during the process of trying to figure out how to get round that I discovered that boot polish trick, which I think has given it kind of a very attractive, if somewhat, dare I say, relict finish. I'm not usually a fan of relict guitars. That's mainly because I just feel that there's something intrinsically false about them. That's just my opinion. Feel free to disagree. But, you know, I guess there's, you know, this guitar has sort of earned its scars, if you know what I mean. Also, the other thing I guess that I've learned is that don't assume that any off-the-shelf parts are going to fit your guitar. As I said, basically it was this distance here between the top of the control plate and the bottom of the bridge that no Telecaster scratch plate that I could kind of get my hands on or try was going to fit. There was either kind of a massive gap or it was overlapping, and that's why I ended up going the route that I did. Anyway, enough waffle. Let's hear what she sounds like. So I think you'll agree, a fairly credible palette of classic rock, bluesy kind of tones available from this guitar, which is exactly what I was aiming for. It's really rather nice. I've got to say, it's turned out very well. This little 50 quid neck that I found on eBay is an absolute stunner. Plays beautifully. It needed a little bit of fretwork. Just there were a few high frets and stuff. And I had to round off the fret edges with a bit of a file. If you're interested in any of that sort of basic guitar setup and maintenance stuff, I did a video on the whole topic of it ages ago, and I'll link to it in the description box below. So there you go, that is the Frankenstein Telecaster project, all done and dusted. Now, before we go, I just need to mention, as always, that there is a competition running on this channel at the moment where you can win this fabulous little Zoom G1ON pedal, little multi-effects unit. It doesn't look much, but by Jiminy, it sounds absolutely fantastic. Again, I'll link in the description box below to demonstration of what this sounds like. All you've got to do in order to win that fantastic pedal, which has been very kindly donated to Guitars for Good Causes, by the way, by a very generous viewer to this channel, all you got to do is record yourself playing a solo. A few weeks ago I did an instructional video, hopefully nice and accessibly and simply explaining the topic of modes in hopefully what is a clear and concise way. Link to that video in the description box below. Basically that explains what you've got to do. Okay, just record a solo using the information in that video, send it to me to the email address you can see on screen, and as soon as this channel tips over 9,000 subscribers, I will pick a winner. What I'm going to do is, as you know, Guitars for Good Causes is in aid of Zoe's Place Baby Hospice, which is a charity in Middlesbrough which provides palliative, respite and end-of-life care to children under 5 with terminal illnesses. That's the cause that we're supporting. Someone donated this pedal to support that cause, so when I pick a winner I will make a suitable donation to Zoe's Place so that then the pedal is officially mine to give away, if you see what I mean. So give it a crack. You might end up learning something about a topic that mystifies many guitarists, and it's not that difficult really, and you might just get a cool pedal as a result of it. And I'll just round off by saying that if you would like some tailored one-to-one guitar tuition, then get in touch with me via the details at the end of this video. If you live on Teesside in the northeast of England, you can come along for a face-to-face lesson in this very room. Or wherever you are in the world, you can have a lesson via Skype. And whichever way you do it, your first lesson is, of course, free. So you've got nothing to lose and potentially everything to gain. And with that, I'll bid you all a good day and look forward to... Oh yes, the chronometer, the way this guitar can tell you the time. I nearly forgot to tell you about that. Here it is.
It's beer or clock.
You see? I told you it was accurate, didn't I? Cheers. See you next time, folks.